Hello, everyone.
This is the Tiff and Jack Show, a podcast devoted to helping you dump the overwhelm and live the happy.
Woo!
We're so very happy to be here. This is episode number 11, Relief in 30 Seconds or Less, the secret to making the law of attraction work for you.
The law of attraction is my favorite thing.
Mine too.
Oh.
And that's why we're always talking about it, because once you understand the law of attraction, you begin to have more of what you want and let go of a lot of what makes you want to slap yourself in the face. I don't know. I was thinking of something much more horrific than slapping yourself in the face.
I know. And why does your brain go there? I don't know.
Oh, it's a beautiful day today. It's a Sunday afternoon. We're listening to the wind chimes that one of our dear friends gave us. This is blowing in the breeze.
Mm-hmm.
And all the fresh new green leaves are on the trees, and it's absolutely lovely.
It's also our son's birthday today, our middle son.
It's been a great day.
Yeah.
Enjoying making birthday cake, but his birthday celebration is not for a couple of weeks. When you hit the capacity of people in a family that we have 6 children, 4 of them have their person. And that's a lot of birthday parties.
And so the reason we're having to wait a little bit is our oldest, I'm trying to remember all the ages, but one of our son's fiance is coming here from France, and we want her to be here for the celebration. And also another sibling is out of town today. So it's just not the same if the family's not all together. So we're going to have a great time in a couple of weeks celebrating our son's birthday today that he's having today in a couple of weeks. So
our son's birthday today that he's having today.
Yeah, today.
Is
and
today.
I made him a really nice breakfast and a birthday cake just for him.
The breakfast was the infamous Jack Stack. And it is loaded and delicious. This is probably why our tagline is "Life is meant to be delicious," because you make such good food.
Life is meant to be devoured.
Oh. Well,
I don't know. Maybe
it's meant to be delicious.
Maybe we need
I would say
some Ritalin.
So
today.
go out and devour it. Woo. Here we go. Let's get this show going. I am Jack. This is Tiff. Hello. Welcome to episode number 11. We're just starting. So if you're joining us, yes, this is episode number 11, but it is also our free gift that we are giving to you. So if you're here because you stumbled across our free gift, Relief in 30 Seconds or Less, welcome. We're so glad you're here. And all of you podcast listeners, we love you. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for being here.
We're so glad to have an opportunity to share these things that make our lives so much more exciting and fun.
Yes.
And part of the reason that we're talking about the secret to making the law of attraction work for you, having relief, it is an answer. So this is a 2-part episode. One, we're going to be talking about helping you get relief quickly, no matter what is going on, because no matter what's going on, relief is that feel-good place that takes you from feeling horrible to just one step better and having a little bit relief. And then once you have relief, the awesome thing is we're going to tell you how that directly links into you having what you want, more of what you want.
Absolutely.
Through the law of attraction.
Yes. So should we chat about our week?
Yeah, it's been a couple weeks from hell, quite honestly. It's been rough. Tiff's ear got completely swollen, shut. The doctor had to go in and suction it out and then stuff a tampon in it. It's not a tampon. It's a wick. They called it a wick, but when you look in her ear, it looks
you might
like
want
they
to
had
back up so that people understand why I would have, you're just jumping.
Your job is to make it all clear. So go ahead.
So I've been going through this really interesting thing. I decided to do a cleanse. It's a 17-week Candida cleanse. And the reason I decided to do that is there's just some things going on in my body that I would like to heal. And since I'm a healer, I do things in a very natural way. Well, this last 2 weeks has not felt very natural. So really what it consists of is for the next 17 weeks.
17.
I'll be eating just fruits, vegetables, and meat and good oil herbs, things like that. So it's a pretty wholesome
Super
diet.
healthy.
Yes. And I started that 2 weeks ago tomorrow. I'm counting every day, as you can tell. But when you do a candida cleanse, you go through something called a die-off.
Wow.
And that's where
Serious
bacteria
shit.
in your body dies off. But when it dies, you release a bunch of toxins, and your body has to go through a toxic dump. And candida clearings are probably, I would say, one of the most toxic dumping cleanses you can do. And so let me tell you. So on top of that, I have to drink a gallon of water a day, and I have to do a 30-minute hot
Tubby.
tub soak. Hot tub soak.
Did you hear her shush me?
Gosh, I'm trying to explain this. So it's like, did you just flip me?
I did.
So I have to soak in a hot tub of Epsom salt water for 30 minutes every day. So it's quite a commitment. And the die-off has been especially wild. And I started it, but I think we mentioned in the last podcast that I had a sinus infection, and I started it at the same time. So as I was recovering from my sinus infection, I started having some other things happen, like cold sores and like eczema breakout. And then I get a terrible
anxiety,
a terrible ear infection. Like it's all this
It's
stuff.
been bad, so bad.
And today is the first day. And I knew it usually takes 2 or 3 weeks to really get in the groove of it because of the die-off. Today's probably the first day in the last 2 weeks that I have felt pretty awesome. However, I'm noticing some amazing benefits. Like my skin. Everyone says my skin looks fabulous and I look younger.
She looks like she's glowing from the inside.
Yeah.
It really does. Your skin looks more the texture's more even. It just looks glowing and very healthy. Mm-hmm. You have this radiant glow about you.
I love that.
That's pretty amazing that that's happening while there's just mass death destruction going on inside of you.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
It's stunning. So this brings us right back to the ear infection. Mm-hmm. And this is why we had to go to the second doctor and find out what was going on, because the eardrops were not working.
Because my ear was so swollen.
It was swollen
I
shut.
couldn't get the drops down in my ears. So I had to go into an ear, nose guy specialist. And he put what Jack calls a tampon in my ear, which is just a big cotton wick that will open my ear up enough to receive the medication. So that's where we've been.
It's been quite
But what about the
ride.
exciting things this
Well,
week?
we've seen some amazing things happening in our coaching. We still saw clients and had an amazing coaching week. Mm-hmm. We're always astounded at the leaps and bounds that they're taking, our clients that you're taking. If you're listening, thank you. You're amazing. And we absolutely love the coaching work. That's our life. And this podcast is our awesome opportunity to just teach and teach and teach and share and share and share to support you in your journey, to help you create more of a life that you love. That's the whole thing. That's what our tagline is: your life, your way.
Yes.
So our life, even when we're dealing with sickness and the ups and downs that brings in and some of the uncertainty, it's a fantastic thing when you can keep doing your own thought work and work through some of your crummy stuff that comes up.
Plenty of stuff to face during all of this. You know, I have a really amazing life with Jack, and we have some really amazing experiences. And this year is all about self-care for me. That's my focus this year. And so that's what I'm doing. And, you know, it's not easy to make a decision to eat a certain way. And we're always invited to parties. We're always having family get-togethers. We're always having birthday cakes. You know, we like to get together and drink with our friends and kids and you know, shoot the breeze. Like, we just have a really abundant life. And I'm having to make some different choices that will serve me in the long run.
Mm-hmm. You've done a great job.
Yeah. So I've had to face some of my inner pain because I'm not using food for fun or to hide from anything. I mean, it's pretty deep shit.
It is. It's a big decision.
It is.
To change the way that you eat. That's a fundamental part of your experience, and it affects everything. But the beautiful thing about doing what we do and living the life and the way that we live, with using our thoughts to create more of what we want, it's an amazing thing, because then when you're coming into things like this, Tiff has a lot of personal power because she can make a decision about how she wants the experiences to be. So while it may be a little more difficult to go out with friends, there are ways to create. We had one friend that said, come over. She's eating very healthy and very clean. She's like, I'd love to make dinner for all of us and we can still sit and talk. And it's just a new experiences, but sometimes it can feel a little bit overwhelming. But your intentions or your thoughts get to create more, make the experience even better for you, whatever the experience is.
It's actually been overall a pretty darn good experience. My body feels fantastic.
Oh, it's doing
other
so
than my
great.
ear, but my ear today is so much better. And within a few days, I know I'm just going to feel fantastic, and I'm just going to keep going, and I'm dropping weight. It's been good. But it is something that, living a life where you are deciding the things that you want to create. There's some decisions that need to be made, and they don't always feel comfortable at the time. But boy, when you get in it and you start getting that momentum, and we've talked about momentum before in our podcasts, that's where you just get a little bit of power behind you, and pretty soon exponentially it starts to grow and you are moving.
You're on fire. So Tiff, what would you say is one of the things that have helped you the most with your mindset as you've been going through the ups and downs of this journey with your food?
One thing that I always do is I ask universe for assistance in the day to have clarity, to create foods that are really amazingly delicious, so I don't feel like I'm lacking in anything. And honestly, I haven't had even any alcohol, and I haven't missed any sugar. I haven't missed any dairy. I haven't missed any alcohol. I haven't missed anything, because the stuff that's been coming to my mind to make, to eat, has just been so good. It leaves me feeling so physically good that it's just making decisions and setting my intention for the kind of experience I want for the day. And I've also set my intention very clearly that I'll have a deep understanding about nutrition and food and health while I'm on this journey, so that after the 17 weeks, I'll continue to have my digestive system will be very healed. And that means that I'll be able to eat more normal things with grains and dairy and stuff. But I want to live a healthy life. We have such an amazing life in every other area. This is like the other thing that now that I'm really focused on. So I just set my intention, and I always listen to things like Abraham, or I'll read a book like Jan Sincero's Money book.
Oh, her latest is You're a Badass at Making Money. The first one was You're a Badass. Yeah. Fantastic books. And then another one.
They just keep reminding you of what it is that and it just keeps it fresh in your mind, so your mindset stays healthy.
Another really great one is Gabby Bernstein's The Universe Has Your Back.
Absolutely.
It's a great book.
Yeah.
And we do that every single day. And so, like Tiff said, she sets her intention. She, at the beginning of the day, creates her day by thinking about it, deciding what she wants, and allowing the universe to assist her to have that.
Absolutely.
And letting go of the details. But that's what we're going to be talking about here in just a minute. So is there anything else that we need to talk about before we move into actually talking about relief and getting relief?
Well, we just got a little visit from our grandbaby.
Oh, I loved it. It was so nice.
We shared a little birthday cake with her, read her little Jesus book.
She goes around picking up all the little rocks and the twigs and the sticks, and she's making her little stack on the table, the side table out by the lawn.
And really,
lawn
she was
furniture.
actually picking up the garbage from the fence.
I know. This is so cute.
I'm like, thank you for helping Grandma.
Oh, our cute little grand nugget.
So she just sure brings a lot of joy into her life. All of our kids do.
I really love spending time with our kids. And when we sit, we can just sit out and talk and shoot the shit. Pass the time. I love that. I really love that. And it reminds me, we just watched the best movie. Oh, help me. I should have paid attention. What is the title?
Oh, babe.
Something Time.
Oh, About Time.
About Time. What a great movie. I love that. And one of the things I loved in that movie is where they would have tea every single day. It was just one thing that their family did.
Their little rituals.
Yeah, out on the beach. They'd go out and have tea every day. I loved it. And it made me really think about the rituals that we have with our kids. One of them is our family dinners, but
and our birthdays and the holidays.
Yeah. And honestly, Tiff, while you've been not eating the same things or drinking. A lot of times we'd come home from work and share a glass of wine or a shot of tequila, me and my tequila. But without doing that, now it's creating new rituals that bring some of that peace in and closure to the end of a day and time that you can spend together. So we're creating some new things now.
And I still cook and make cakes
Oh,
and make meals.
she sure does.
I just don't eat it.
Yeah.
So
amazing.
yeah, it's been great. It's been a great week.
Really good week.
In spite of die-off.
In spite of die-off. You got to love the die-off.
Yes. So let's get started in talking about relief in 30 seconds or less, because it is the secret of utilizing the law of attraction. And so it's kind of two parts. We'll be talking a lot about the law of attraction, but relief in 30 seconds or less. And Jack, take it away.
Okay. So we understand that for you, that today could be a very hard day, or it could be a pretty normal day, and you might be feeling great and you might be feeling shitty. And whether it's something that is going on in your life that's making it hard for you to find peace, or if you really don't know what's going on, there is an answer and a way for you to get some relief, and to get it very quickly. That's why we say in 30 seconds or less. Mm-hmm. And relief is a very interesting thing, because it can come at any level where you're at, right? You could be in the lowest of the low, or kind of a mid-range blah, and finding relief is still a step better than wherever you are.
Right. And most of the time, relief comes in the way of you're needing relief from overwhelm or depression or anxiety, like emotional things. That's where mostly people are looking for relief.
I would say so. Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's like the day-to-day feeling overwhelmed, dealing with the daily shit that comes up in a day.
Mm-hmm. And there's something that I would like to explain to you so you have a better understanding of how your brain works and how the chemicals in your brain manifest and what that really looks like. So here's something that you really need to know if you don't already. Your brain is a very, very powerful thing, and all the thoughts in it are electromagnetic. So you are attracting your life, whether you're attracting what you want or what you don't want. Whatever you think is what you will find in your reality. Your life will be the things that you are thinking about.
You're the creator.
So there's two aspects of the brain. There's the conscious part and the unconscious part. The conscious part of your brain is the part of the brain that is making sense at any given time of anything going on. And so you'll be making up stories along the way about what's going on around you. And 90% of that's bullshit. And then you've got your unconscious part of the brain. And that part of the brain is where you store your entire belief system. So what happens when you see something, you're going to be having a conversation between the unconscious and the conscious. So you may see a car from the 1970s, and you'll see that car and you'll be like, oh, I don't like that car. And your unconscious brain is going to send some private messages. Maybe, in the 70s, you had some bad experience around a car from the 1970s. That was one of my experiences. So every time I saw this car from the 70s, any kind of car, anything from the 70s at all, I would always get this really uptight feeling. And I felt like, oh, I've got to get away from this car or this building or this house, or turn off this TV show, because I had a lot of trauma in the 70s. So my belief system is that, oh, if you're anywhere around the 70s, you're gonna not be doing very well. So you need to get away. And of course, I don't have any recollection of specific memories, because in my conscious, I'm just like, I don't like that car. I don't like that TV show. I don't like that building. I don't like those clothes. And that's how I made sense of it. But you have two things going on, something from your belief system, and then you're making sense of things. So say someone says to you, oh, you're amazing. And immediately you're like, oh yeah, you're just telling me that because la, 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 la. And it comes from your belief system somewhere in your unconscious brain. So you're going to have a lot of experiences where you're having the duality or the double talk. It's like, I am amazing, but not really. I am awesome, but not as far as this is concerned. Mm-hmm. Like you're going to have back and forth, like what's good and what isn't good, things like that, because that's what's coming from your unconscious and your conscious brain. So if you know that as you go in, sometimes you're going to feel really crappy and you're not going to know why. What happens is you're having an unconscious thought that you're not aware of, and it releases a chemical from the hypothalamus, and those chemicals are called peptides. Those get released inside, from inside the hypothalamus into your bloodstream, and they travel somewhere in your body to a receptor site that it feels comfortable in. So it's kind of like a key in a lock, and that those peptides go maybe into your kidney or maybe into your intestines, maybe into your chest or your heart. And that's when you get that like chest feeling of like, oh, I feel that in my chest. I feel this heaviness in my chest, or I feel this back pain because I'm worried about money, like things like that. And it's those chemical responses. So when you get really, really good at understanding your brain, you can start thinking about your thoughts, because your thoughts will attract what is in your experience, because your thoughts are electromagnetic. You are a walking magnet. So whatever you are thinking about, you are going to pull into your experience. So let's talk about why relief is so important. And we've just been talking about the brain a little bit, so you have a better understanding of what's happening with the dual conversation of conscious brain and unconscious, and the peptides that are being released in the body. When you can clear the limiting beliefs, the things that are releasing the chemicals in your body that don't feel good, those chemicals don't release anymore once that's cleared. And then you can start thinking feel-good thoughts of like, life is abundant, life is amazing, life is this.
I'm a money magnet.
Yes.
Money finds me wherever I am.
Yes. So it's just important to kind of understand the baseline of how the brain is working, especially when it's like, well, I don't know why I feel so bad, but I know I need relief. And you do need relief, because in the relief is the opening to being able to receive what you are setting your intention for with the universe. So I gave a really in-depth lesson in about 3 minutes. Of course, we'll be discussing this over and over again through our podcast, but I'm just reminding you again.
Right. And to support what Tiff is explaining in such a simple way is the book, The Law of Attraction by Esther and Jerry Hicks. A great movie that you can watch is What the Bleep Do We Know? Fantastic. It'll show you little graphics, and it'll show this whole thing that Tiff just explained in such an easy, quick way. It'll explain it deeper. It's fantastic. Okay, so one thing that you have to become aware of is, are you going upstream or downstream? So if you're going upstream, that means you're fighting pretty hard. You're trying to make things work. You're probably pretty exhausted. You're trying to find answers, and you're probably damn frustrated, feeling like life is against you and you never get what you want, and everyone else has it easy, and you're a goddamn victim of the entire world. And that's an upstream. That's when you know you're upstream, is when you're trying to force things to happen, and you're controlling and you're pissed. You're going upstream. You're fighting hard. We want to talk about how to get going downstream,
because everything you want in your life is downstream.
Yep. The easy, when you're in the flow, when you feel relief, you know you're going downstream.
So interesting thing that you just said the word easy. It just reminded me, while we were eating breakfast with our sons this morning, one of our sons said, I'm so sick of the word struggle and sacrifice.
Ugh.
And I said, right? And he said, why don't people just choose the easy way? Why do people have to
make everything so hard
and sacrifice everything? And, you know, why do we have to do it the hard way? And I just looked at him and I thought, that is such a great question. And it's the question Jack and I ask our clients often. Would you like to have things easy or hard? And people are like, well, easy, but that's not my experience.
Yeah. And depending on where you come from, and depending on your ancestry and all those things, because some of us grow up in a culture that came through the Puritans, where it is all about self-sacrifice, and life should be hard and go without the pleasures. Or a lot of actually religious beliefs tend to lean towards sacrifice and getting through the trials and the challenges, rather than really kicking back and having some pleasure
and joy and fun in life.
So,
you know,
we cannot say it enough. Think about your thoughts. What are you thinking about yourself? What do you believe about your life? Are your thoughts limiting you and saying life has to be hard and you have to work hard? Pay attention to it. Okay, so like we were saying, so if you're going upstream, then the way to get relief in 30 seconds or less, the very first step is that you have to stop and realize that you're going upstream. You have to get in the moment and ask yourself, am I going upstream or downstream? That's as simple as that. If you feel like you're fighting your way and you're having to force things to happen so they work out for you, you are going upstream. And it's a miserable place to be.
It really is.
It is.
It may have been Abraham, but don't quote me for sure. But I did hear some brilliant person say, do you really think that you can force the universe to do it your way? And when we go upstream, that's what we're doing, is we're pushing against the current of the universe.
The entire universe.
You realize, right, that the universe is all power, all wisdom, all truth, everything good. And you push against that, and universal energy has a tendency to smack you right back down.
According to what you believe about yourself. And if you believe life has to be hard, it will be.
Yes.
It will be very, very, very hard, in fact. So that first place is just become aware. Just stop what you're doing. Get in the present. Are you going upstream or downstream? Are you fighting the current? Are you going with the flow? Are you trusting that the universe has your back and will assist you to have what you want? Or are you trying to force the universe to give it to you the way you think it has to be?
Exactly.
It is.
I'm sorry, folks, but the universe is smarter than you. Like major. Okay.
Yeah, it is you. And it'll give you every single thing you want.
Yep.
It always says yes. So that's why you identifying, am I making life harder than it has to be?
Right.
That's the first step to finding relief in 30 seconds. The second step is, once you've accepted that, yes, I am in resistance, I am pissed, I am going upstream. The second step is accept it. Just accept where you are. Do not judge yourself about it. Don't kick yourself about it. Just accept it. So first you recognize it. Two, you accept where you're at.
Without judging it.
Without judging it. And then, go ahead. Were you going to
No.
say something? And this is the place where I think we need to talk a little bit about resistance, because when you are, you're in resistance. We're in resistance when we're going upstream. And resistance, the definition of resistance is the refusal to accept or comply with something, anything. The attempt to prevent something by action or argument. Opposition to, hostility, or refusal to accept.
Right.
Can you see why there is power in accepting where you are? It takes you out of resistance.
Okay, so let's just have a little chat. Let's talk about resistance. Now, resistance means refusing to be in the flow. And you hear people talking about get in the flow. What they're really talking about is going downstream. So you're flowing with the current. We want you to flow with the current of the universal energy instead of fighting against it. And let me just share something with you. There's going to be a lot of things in life that don't really make sense of why they're happening. Because it feels like, well, if I'm going to be in the flow, then I should have everything I want. But you have to remember, in the flow comes some of those experiences of release of the things that have kept you stuck in prison in the life that you want to get out of. And that means some experiences, some people, sometimes some things must be released so that you can be open enough to receive. And so there's some really interesting things that happen. For instance, say you are setting an intention for a job that you really want. And all of a sudden, 3 days later, after you set your intention, you lose a job. And then immediately, the natural thing to really go into is resistance, because it's like, oh my gosh, what am I going to do? I've got to figure this out. Maybe if I write a letter to the CEO, or maybe if I go and apologize, or maybe if I do this, or maybe if I do that. And you have to remember, without inspired action, you're moving in force.
And you're stuck in your own little nut brain.
Yes.
You're just stuck in this little tiny brain going, I've got to fix this. But you have the entire universe that's wanting to assist.
When you set your intention and say you lost your job, the best thing you can do is say, okay, I've lost my job. I've set my intention for this, and I'm going to trust the universe. If there's something that I need to do, I'm setting my intention right now that the universe will inspire me by inspired action to do that. And then who knows?
And get clear on what kind of job you want.
Yes.
So now you're in an entirely new place,
Mhm.
which is actually quite a gift. And you get to identify, oh, what kind of job do I want? And then allow the universe to come in and give you inspired thought, inspired action, feelings that give you a nudge to go here, do this, do that, and act on them immediately. Just do it.
And then all of a sudden, you're at a restaurant with a friend talking about it, and
Exactly.
you bump into someone,
Mhm.
and it's a friend from your past, and they're like, oh yeah, I've started this business, it's doing great, and we're looking for people. So if you know anyone
This is how
that's
it
looking
works.
for, a certain type of job, please let them know. And you're like, well, actually, that's right up my alley, and I just I don't have a job right now, so let's talk. I mean,
This is how
it
it
can be
works.
as simple as that. And so this is why trusting the universe and getting out of resistance, getting out of pushing against
my
the
God, it
universal
changes
flow,
everything.
it opens the door for you to have what you want.
It does. Oh, it gives me the goosebumps just as we talk about it, because it makes life so exciting. It really is brilliant. So, okay, the first step, like we said, is number one, realize, am I going upstream or downstream?
Right.
The second step, number two, is as simple as you accepting where you are.
Yep.
Without judging yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Please don't judge yourself. And then the first thing is, the third thing is to identify, ask yourself this question: what am I afraid of?
Mm-hmm.
What am I afraid of? Once you identify that, then you have a tangible thing that you can hand to the universe to bring you in the answers that you're looking for.
Right.
So once you identify what you're afraid of, you're now giving the universe permission to assist you. Just like we said, make a decision. What kind of job do I want? What do I need to do for my health? I mean, same thing. I mean, Tiff got to the point of asking the question. This book fell into her lap, and she heard someone give a talk, and voila, here she is.
Well, let me just share a little bit about what Jack's talking about in my own life of what's happening right now. Is, I started having some health issues that are hereditary. I'm not going to go into that, but pretty serious things to start to consider. And I was mad. I went into resistance, and I was like, F that. And then I just had to sit there, and I did my meditation. I had to sit there, and I said, okay, I'm having some issues. I know how to heal my body. I know how to do this. And that means I need to make some decisions. So I just reached out into myself and set my intention for what I would like to create with my health. And immediately I get up at 4:00 in the morning, and I get on YouTube, because a lot of times I'll just sit in my room, my magic room, where I do a lot of my healings and remote work. And I will listen to Abraham or something really uplifting. And immediately something pulled up on the YouTube screen. And I just said, oh, maybe I'm supposed to watch or listen to this. And I did. And it was a man talking about some health things. And as soon as I was listening to this book that he was sharing with me about this Candida cleanse, I got that feeling in my body that was like, this is alignment for you. And so I just ordered the book, and they had one book left on Amazon Prime. I got it for like $4.99. I got the book, and I started reading it. And as I was reading it, it felt resonant to me. And then I called Jack into the magic room and said, I want to share something with you. I feel like this is what I need to do for my health. And Jack, of
then
course,
I cried. I didn't cry, but I did have a stunned look on my face.
Because we spend much of our life engaging with other people, going out to eat, drinking, really enjoying each other's company. And for 17 weeks, I'm going to have to take a break from a lot of those things.
And do things very different.
Mm-hmm. And I was very nervous to get started, but I knew that it was an answer, that it was brought into me, inspired action. I was out of resistance, and I just walked forward, and I'm having some very amazing results within even 2 weeks, and I'm just getting started. So I can feel I'm on the right path. I know that this is what is benefiting the health of my body, and by accepting it and getting out of resistance, I was able to receive an answer of inspired action of what I can do to assist myself in this journey of setting my intention and having the life I want, especially in my body.
Isn't
my body
is
so important to me.
You really honestly can't hear a thing when you're in resistance.
No.
You can't hear,
No.
you don't have the whole universe working for you. Well, it is working for you, but you're not aware of it. When we're in resistance, we can't hear anything.
Mm-mm.
We're just pissed.
We hear our own action talking away in our unconscious brain with our
and
limiting
feeling like
beliefs.
a victim
Yes.
and being pissed. And it really does look like us sitting in the boat paddling for all we're worth, and we're sweating and our back is aching and we're not getting anywhere, and we just don't know what the F we're going to do. And just like we said, it's in that moment that you accept it, and then you pull your oars in, and you know what happens? The minute you accept it, identify what you're afraid of, you have just opened the door to the universe to help you, and then your boat is turned around on that water. The water turns you around, and suddenly you are floating downstream, and you can relax. And you might be able to even, kick back and have an ice cold beer while the universe is carrying you to where you want to be.
Unless you're on a cleanse.
Then you can have water. Really good water.
Okay.
So just visualize it. Feel what it feels like to think about pulling those oars in, and you look down at your oars and they're dripping with water, and you feel your boat being turned downstream. And suddenly you realize, as you're floating in your boat, and you see that you're being carried, and you see everything you want coming to you, and that you're being carried right to it by the universe. This is the secret of life, of a joyful life.
It is.
And it is the answer to getting relief no matter where you are, no matter the level of difficulty you're facing. This is one way to get relief very, very fast. And the minute you can have your oars pulled in and you feel the universe working for you, you can relax.
Mm-hmm.
You can drink that sweet relief in and take a load off for a minute. And then you'll get inspired thought, inspired action. You'll get a feeling to do something, go somewhere, like go to Starbucks and do this, or run here. Just act on it. Just when you get one of those feelings, act on it. And more doors will continue to open for you, door after door after door.
Right. Are you ready for me to talk about why well-being is so important?
Yes. This is the perfect segue. So we just explained how to get relief. It is that simple. And we do have a PDF and a free gift for you so that you can, a free gift. It is a PDF of a feelings guide. I have an infographic that I've created with you going through these steps, reminding you how to get relief very, very quickly. And if you have friends that are really struggling, please share this with them. All we want to do is make your life better as we're making our life better.
Right.
And we have some damn fine answers to help you.
So relief is a really interesting word. We've been talking all about it. And I want to talk to you about why it's so important. And we've talked a little bit about it already, but I want to go deeper. Relief is one of those things that opens you up to manifesting more. So when you're in a really stressful place, it's hard to manifest the things that you want because you're so stressed. And Jack and I, we're always talking about, dumping the overwhelm and living the happy. And it's not just because being happy feels so damn good. It's because when you're in a place, when you're living in a sense of well-being, that you live that well-being place, you are in a receiving energy to receive the things that you desire. Because if you think that you're not creating right now, you are mistaken. Every single person on this planet is creating their life and their reality at every given moment of every day. 24/7, it's happening. But people are really starting to want to create things that they want instead of what they don't want. And one of the most important things is to find a way to have live in a place of well-being or to feel happy, because that's the open energy of receiving. So we talk about all these little tiny things that you can do to enhance your life, to dump the overwhelm and happy. That's what all of these podcasts are for, is to share with you little things, bits and pieces you can add into your life so that you can start feeling more of a sense of well-being, more happiness, more peace, more joy, more love, more connection, more fun, more pleasure. All of those things leave you in an energy of receiving. And that is why we do what we do, is to teach you how to be in the receiving mode. Abraham talks about it as the allowing place, where you get to a place of allowing. You can't allow what it is that you really want to create in your life if you feel like shit, if you feel overwhelmed, if you feel too stressed, if you're too tired. All you're doing is worrying about why you feel that way. And so this 30 seconds
Oh
to
my God.
relief is such a gift, because you will get to do something in just a couple of seconds with your mind. You just think to yourself, I'm pulling the oars in, I'm going with the flow, I'm going to stay out of resistance and trust that the universe has got my back. And when you do that,
Oh my God.
you just gave the universe permission to bring in the things that you want.
It's brilliant. It's exciting.
Mm-hmm.
It's a way of being surprised every single day in the most beautiful way.
It is. And, you know, as we always prepare for these podcasts to share information with you, I was thinking about this cleanse that I'm on. And before I started this, I was having some pretty intense physical issues that were causing me a great amount of stress and limiting my mobility quite a bit. And I knew that if I could do something that would relieve the symptoms I was having in my body of dis-ease, that I would have relief. And that's what I was looking for, is relief. And I can honestly say today, I have a lot of relief, a lot of mobility, a lot of the symptoms that I was experiencing before I even started the cleanse have disappeared. And I'm feeling so excited for the moment. I feel like I've got so much momentum moving within me right now. I'm excited, and I feel the sense of well-being, and oh my gosh, all that does is just open me up to more receiving of what I want. And so, you know, we really do like to share where we are in our own lives, because we live this stuff.
We live it, we coach it, we teach it, we love it.
This is our life.
We're incessantly talking about it with each other, with our friends, with our kids. We're always reading and expanding our own understanding. And Tiff is getting download after download, being the intuitive, spiritual healer, seer that she is. And we are here to share it with you. This is very good news that will make your life better and easier with the simplest of actions.
So this let go and let God,
which is a big 12-step.
Yes, but
phrase.
Do you know who I believe created that phrase? I'm not sure, but I think it was Melanie Beatty, which did the Codependency No More books. I think
either that or Bill Wilson, who wrote the Alcoholics Anonymous.
Yeah, I think it was her. Don't quote me, but that phrase helps people so much. And the 12 steps are an awesome stepping point, because beautiful. You know, they really help you trust a higher power that will
that it has your back.
That it has your back.
Yeah. And we say universe, but we're saying God.
And you know, universe, they talk source. About surrendering to God.
Yep.
We talk about surrendering to the universe.
Yep.
Abraham talks about allowing
and identifying where you're at, right?
And Deepak Chopra talks about detachment. It's all the same juice. It's all the same stuff. It's really trusting that the universe has you in mind and knows who you are, knows every detail about you. And you know why? Because universal energy is running through your body. Your spirit is made from that energy. And so that means by birthright, you have the right to create all the things that you desire. This is a life to live in joy and happiness and ease, if you will let go of resistance and allow it to come to you. Life does not have to be hard. It is meant to be a joyful experience. And yeah, we all have some experiences that are hard. I mean, you could have a spouse that passes away. You could have a sick child. Your animal could have been hit by a car. I mean, you could have had
lose a job,
a terrible breakup with someone you love. There are a lot of things that are happening, but if you will remember, it's always carrying you to what alone. You want.
Yes. You have the most perfect source energy moving through you to assist you. You're never alone. No matter how bad it looks, you have help. And we're here to remind you of this and this message. And anytime you need the support, listen to this again so that you remember that you have everything you need right now in you. Every single thing, every answer is right here for you. Get out of resistance. If you've ever considered or been interested in wanting to explore coaching with us, we would be honored. It's very simple. I have a link that's in the show notes called Coach with Us. That's where you start. It's self-explanatory. It's very, very simple. Download our free e-guide that goes with us, along with the feelings chart. I've had a very hard time understanding what I'm feeling because I lived a life very shut off from my feelings. Tiff is really powerful at knowing what she's feeling, but I suck at it.
You're so good at it
I'm
now.
better, way better, but still, I have to work at it. So we have a little feelings identifying chart to help you just identify, what am I feeling? That's the moment you accept it. So let's just the 3 steps. The first thing is you have to, let me just make sure I say it correctly, right? Oh, you have to identify and become aware of if you're in resistance or not, right? Are you going upstream or downstream?
And you can tell really easy if you're going upstream if you feel like shit.
Yeah.
You feel like shit, you're going upstream.
And you feel confused and you don't know what to do and you're pissed and you feel like a victim, you are going upstream. You
Any
are working
negative
harder than you
feeling
need to.
is upstream.
Right? The second step is to pull those oars in, identify that you are upstream, accept where you are, pull the oars in and allow the universe to assist you. Ask the question, what am I afraid of? And then feel that boat, number 3 or number 4, wherever we are, feel that boat being turned around and act on the thoughts, feelings, and intuitive nudges that come to you. Act on them. And you'll begin to identify and create a life you love. You'll be able to turn this baby around by allowing the universe to do it for you. And that is the sweetest place of all.
It is. It makes life
It
so
does.
good. So good.
So good. That is our message today and every day. And when Tiff and I say to eat dessert first, it truly is, because life is seriously meant to be devoured.
It is.
Every single day. And finding relief is the golden ticket to creating a life you love.
That is your starting point.
It is.
Get just a little relief. Once you get relief, you get some momentum, and watch out. The universe will dump loads of yumminess into your life.
And please share us with your friends. Subscribe to the podcast if you haven't already. Every week, we're going to have another message to help you dump the overwhelm and live the happy, because living the happy feels so damn good. And we want that for us and for you and for everyone.
Yes.
If you have any questions, there will be an Ask a Question link. And remember to come back. And like I just said, eat dessert first.
Life's meant to be devoured, and we'll definitely be back.